Marvel Heroes introduces Rogue as an all-in-one hero, League of Legends rocks a new game mode, an awesome new champion, Swordsman announced its first expansion, and Chaos Heroes Online hits closed beta. What's happening, guys? James Blonde here with MMOHuts.com with a quick weekly recap for MMO news and announcements for the week ending September 17th, 2014. And this week, our first bit of news has us doing barrel rolls in War Thunder.
Do a barrel roll!
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought as soon as I saw this, but it turns out this is the new instruction video that helps players identify basic to advanced air maneuvers to, first, know what they're called, and second, potentially save their ass in battle. They do go into pretty good detail on how and why to perform these maneuvers, so it's probably pretty handy for a lot of new players. But I can't say, when it comes to me playing War Thunder, I've done most of these maneuvers on accident, just trying not to die. Now on a similar note, the public test server is now live for World of Tanks Update 9.3. And the main feature of this update is the new Strongholds feature that makes the game even more like an RTS. Strongholds give clans the ability to build structures to help increase the battle rewards for all the clan members, as well as lay the groundwork for tactical advantages in the future. Not to mention, it allows clans to challenge each other for industrial resources, so it's definitely a feature that is kind of an interesting add to a game like this, and they've got a nice detailed guide to building strongholds on the site right now for those who have a clan, but some of the other features in this update include several rebalanced and completely rebuilt vehicles. Plus, there are new Soviet, German, and American light tanks introduced. It's a pretty decent sized update, and you can catch the entire update review video at the MMOHuts site post from the link in the description below. Next up, Season of the Dragons continues as the Cult of Dragons amasses outside the once secure sanctuary of Protector's Enclave in Neverwinter. The time has come, or will be coming, for players to defend Neverwinter from encroaching foes in the new Siege battle area. The new Siege of Neverwinter update has 2 heroic encounters that are set to challenge players with a variety of different battle types and assaults from dragons. With this update, a new profession will enable players to craft defensive supplies and work to protect the other players fighting as warriors that decide to venture past the safety of the walls. The event part of this update starts on September 18th and lasts through September 25th. Last week, Perfect World Entertainment revealed the first expansion pack for Swordsman Online called Gilded Wasteland. This expansion tasks players to go beyond the Great Wall to defeat the sinister Imminent School and takes place in the rugged deserts and isolated steppes of Jianghu. Gilded Wasteland will increase the current level cap from 89 to 94 while also improving the leveling curve. New leveling adjustments combined with a multitude of optimization changes is supposed to help streamline the game for everybody. According to the official press release, the new expansion will also bring updates to the in-game systems, including weapon crafting, companion training, as well as PvP. I'd say expect to see this expansion sometime this fall. Getting ever so close to closed beta, World of Speed showcased yet another raceable location and yet another awesome set of cars to race there. This time we see 2 teams battling out in the streets of Moscow, and once again, we see another in-race objectives type game mode featured as one team tries to prevent the other team from completing in-race objectives. Now in this mode, everything you do in the race counts, and you can bring your team to victory even if you're not in first place. It's one of the longer trailers that we've seen so far, showing off more angles and even views of the driver's seat, and if this is anything like what the gameplay looks like now, then I'd say they're probably about ready to let us in to play it. The week before last, Loadout started up a beta for their recently introduced PvE campaign mode, and this past week the game's creative director and senior designer talked to us about Update 5.0, which is set to include the campaign missions against the new alien invaders. The campaign is set up so that players select missions of different difficulties to help new players get used to the game and its mechanics, but at the same time lets you work your way up an objective ladder, competing with friends along the way. You might even be playing certain missions with completely different objectives from the other players you're playing with. The other new feature here is the loot that's found in the missions, which all have different rarities now, so parts that you may have had in the past have new or different stats based on rarity. But with this, they've also introduced the fusion system, which allows you to combine parts that you might not be interested in order to create a new item out of them or improve the abilities of other parts that you already have. There's plenty being added to the game with this update, so be sure to check out the new dev diary at the news site post at MMOHuts.com. Next up, Nexon Europe recently announced its launch plan for Counter-Strike Nexon Zombies, a new free-to-play standalone version of Counter-Strike 1.6 with Zombies, of course. And seeing that the game originates from CS 1.6, tons of different game modes and maps will be available in this game, featuring both PvE and PvP gameplay. All-time favorite classic maps will be included, such as Day Dust, along with a selection of new maps and over 60 maps overall. So it's basically like taking CS 1.6, adding in a zombie-themed mod, along with new maps, new weapons, new characters, and then making it all free to play. Actually kind of seems like a nice idea. I guess we can see for ourselves really soon, as the public open beta starts on September 23rd via Steam. Well, it's easy to see that Riot Games have been really busy lately with League of Legends, starting with Shurima's Legacy, featured in yet another awesome video put out by Riot, telling the story of a desert empire ruled by the latest champion, Azir. Shurima's Legacy features a brand new featured game mode called Ascension, in which 2 teams of 5 compete with each other in order to steal the Ascension buff away from the Ascendant Xerath in the center of the map and use its power to conquer the Crystal Scar. Points are rewarded based on kills and captures, and if you happen to take down the Ascendant Xerath and become the Ascendant, you're looking at bonus health and infinite mana, added damage, cooldown reduction, and armor and magic penetration. Yikes. So overall, it looks like a really badass game mode. And of course, then you have Azir himself as the new champion. Azir is a mid lane mage who summons Shuriman soldiers to control the battlefield as well as act as an extension to his basic attack. The soldier's basic attacks furnish most of Azir's damage potential, making him an outlier amongst mages as a right-click focused champion. He's definitely a really unique mage. His passive gives him not only increased attack speed with cooldown reduction items, but also the ability to take over a destroyed turret and use it like a turret, except have it deal even more damage and grant him gold on minion or champion kills. How convenient is that? So yeah, there's definitely a lot going on with League right now, and we've got all the latest videos and information at MMOHuts.com. And speaking of cool new champions, Heroes of the Storm puts out an intro trailer for Chen, the legendary Brewmaster. As far as heroes go, Chen is a warrior able to soak up tons of damage. His abilities include a high mobility flying kick that also deals damage, a keg smash that deals damage and slows, and breath of fire that works alongside keg smash and to deal even more damage to brew-soaked enemies. Now, in Heroes of the Storm, each hero has options when it comes to ultis, Shen's first being barrel roll. Do a barrel roll! Now, almost. It's called Wandering Keg, where Shen hops into his keg and crushes enemies in his path. His second option is called Storm, Earth, Fire. Shen splits himself into 3 spirit forms that release elemental attacks onto his enemies. It's actually pretty cool for a tank. I still wonder when this game is going to have more public access. I wish that was the news that I was telling you guys. Next up, Area Games' new MOBA Chaos Heroes Online started its closed beta today, September 15th. Players who sign up during the closed beta will gain access to 2 exclusive skins for 2 popular heroes in the game, Hayden and Silk. If you haven't seen gameplay yet, check out my first look on the game. You'll notice the game really does derive itself from the original Warcraft 3 Defense of the Ancients map, so it's perfect if that's what you're looking for. If you're hoping to get into the closed beta, sign up at the official website, or just keep an eye out at MMOHuts.com/giveaways for our closed beta key giveaway. Last week, the developers on EverQuest Next Landmark explored the recently added combat system in the game and how it works, where to find PvP matches, and also what the future holds. Landmark doesn't exactly have a class system. Instead, your weapon determines what skills and basic stats you have. So, starting off, you can craft and wield a Soldier's Blade, a sword giving you a high melee attack damage, dealing swipes and also giving you a dash attack. The Marksman's Bow gives you the ability to stay back and snipe. Its first ability lets you do quick attack damage, and a second ability lets you mark a target, allowing your first ability to deal even more damage. The Conjurer's Staff lets you stay back at a much needed safe distance to deal damage. The first ability gives you a shotgun type blast of magic, and the second summons a huge bubble that stuns and slows enemies. Now, based on how the game is set up with breakable terrain, the simple tab targeting systems just don't work, so naturally the combat system in this game is all about the action. Our last bit of news is about a new powerful character in Marvel Heroes 2015. The latest hero in the game is Rogue, and in a strong sense, she's the most unique in the game so far. Rogue has the ability to steal powers away from friends and enemies depending on the tree you go down, and collect them to use them to her advantage later. You can get an entirely new set of powers by stealing them from enemies and bosses, and then you can upgrade them as well as learn new skills to basically make a hero that fits your own personal playstyle. So In a sense, she's an all-in-one hero. Not to mention she's capable of altering her physical form in order to gain powers like Wolverine's claws. So I've got to admit, I've never really been a fan of Rogue, but in this case, her skill trees are pretty awesome. Anyway guys, that's about it for the shorter week of news. Thanks once again for voting in the PlanetSide 2 contest. The contest is still going on, and we are super far ahead, but we kind of need to stay there, so keep voting when you get a chance. Like always, if you're looking for more information about the news featured in the recap, check the links in the description below. Otherwise, head over to MMOHuts.com/news. Feel free to discuss the news in the comments below, or head over to MMOHuts.com/forums. But until next time guys, that's going to be it for me. I'm James Blonde. See you out there, gamers.